Logan Paul, baby. All right. What's up, everybody? Adam Cole's dead, everybody. He got waffled the other night. Should have stayed a manager. A lot of different things going on today, but yeah, Adam Cole. Fans are really worried about Adam Cole after what happened the other night. He got absolutely waffled in AEW. Dropped on his head. You ever notice how negative wrestling fans are nowadays? Like, because I really just think it's that wrestling isn't really giving you everything that you wanted. You know, I think for me, I mean, it's not giving me everything I wanted either. It's so everyone's kind of like bitter and mad, and you know what I mean. They're upset. And yeah, I really think it's because we're not fulfilled in life. And people are less fulfilled in life right now than they've been in a long time. I mean, just to be honest. And it's academic. It's easy to see this. It's because, you know, anybody who's over 30 years old, for the most part, is starting to realize that everything is on a repeated cycle of nothing. All of the movies that, you know, used to be great are now kind of terrible or not even happening. So there's just like this fatigue about movies, fatigue about creativity, fatigue about art. Your job is paying less than it ever has before. You have to work harder than you ever have before. And you've kind of seen quite a bit of stuff if you're 30 years or older, especially if you're 40 years and older. But if you're 30 and older, I think a lot of the 30-year-olds fall into this as well. And then I think a lot of the younger people feel it because they see the other people complaining about it. Like there are 19-year-olds and 22-year-olds that see people like us talking about the way the world is now, and they feel that too. And there's this sinking feeling of like dead internet theory. Everything is bad AI. Authentic human behavior and authentic humans' opinions and things like that are very high valued. So like those are some things that you'll find very valuable. The more authentic somebody can be, the more valuable it is right now. I think that value is going up. But the way of the world is sort of to fall into line, into that cookie cutter setup, or into that, you know, position that you're in, or a position that you need to be in. Whether that's AI, following the trend, following the whatever, everything is just so programmed now. Oh, you want to sell a home? Here's exactly how everybody does it now. Oh, you want to say something online? Here's exactly how everybody does it now. You want to, watch a show? This is exactly how it goes. And it's like, well, years ago, there was a little bit of a Wild West and unpredictability about everything. And that unpredictability is what makes all of life exciting. And now it's so programmable and programmed in, and sterile in many ways. So there's just this like sinking feeling of, even though we have tons of like stuff to help us think faster and move quicker and do all those things, there's a soullessness to the whole thing that I think hits everybody. And I think you can see that in wrestling. And so the more people are sort of cookie cutter, or just read the script, or recycled, reused storyline, we've all seen it all, and we've also repeated these storylines so many times that we've seen those as well. So the only way wrestling is going to be really good to somebody is if they're under 25 years old and they haven't seen anything else of it really, or haven't paid much attention to it, so their ignorance is helping them. That's great, right? That's really good news if they're a bit ignorant to the other stuff. And I think we can all admit that, we've beat a dead horse with The Undertaker, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock. I mean, these are all guys that have transcended well beyond their years. I mean, just think about this, guys. Just think about this. In the 80s, right, when Hulk Hogan took off let's say Hulk Hogan was massively huge from like 1985 to like 1994, right? Let's say Hulk Hogan, 10 years of dominance of the biggest guy in the business, whatever else, etc. Can you imagine if the biggest thing that would happen would always be that they brought back Bruno Sammartino, or that they brought back Bob Backlund, or that they said, remember these guys? I mean, yeah, I remember as a kid being told about, like, hey, Freddie Blassie and legends like that. I remember being told about, legends and people like that. But I don't ever remember, just there was never this glaze of returning legends like there are now. And at this point, not only is, I mean, Stone Cold, I know that Stone Cold really recently did wrestle a match and he did come back and do something. But technically, Stone Cold Steve Austin hasn't been a weekly active wrestler in the WWE in like over 20 years. But and I don't have a problem with that, because he's like one of my favorites. It's like Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, and Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, Bret Hart, Triple H, Rock. People like that are all in my top forever, right? But it's like, even though, let me get my donation link up. My bad, my donation link's coming. There it is. But even though that's the case, it's just like these guys are going on years well after their time, which it's just incredible to me. It's like we've got The Rock coming back still since he started in the WWE in 1996. We got Stone Cold coming back still since he started in the company in 1995, 96. We got, I mean, Shawn Michaels doesn't really do it if you think about it, because he runs a lot of the NXT stuff. So, Shawn Michaels doesn't really come out anymore like he's an attraction, which I think is too bad, because he's he's my favorite wrestler, in-ring wrestler of all time. But I mean, all these guys constantly coming back and coming back in and whatever else, like you've never seen that before. We've never experimented with, what if during the entire 90s, all these 80s and 70s guys were always coming back? It didn't happen because those times were unprecedented, unpredictable, and they set the standard. Starting with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan set a standard in the 80s and 90s. Bret Hart, and Shawn Michaels did what they did. Stone Cold set a standard in the late 90s to the early 2000s, and so many other people did as well. And so much so, The Rock and everybody, that they can come back still to this day, and the pop is huge and people remember. And I think we're finally seeing with Hulk Hogan that there's a fatigue around him. An 80s, 90s guy, a guy that spanned all of the 80s almost, and all of the 90s, and even the early 2000s. Hulk Hogan, you're starting to finally see the Hogan fatigue. I don't think it's just his politics, and his, arguably what he's done racist-wise and things like that, his bad behavior. He's not a great person. But, like, I think it's partly all of that in one thing, So I don't know, but you're just seeing that fatigue with everything. But yeah, people are sad, man. They miss Toys R Us. We don't have that. We miss Blockbuster Video. But I mean, would you really change the way you are? You miss your CDs and your hard, your physical media. But now we interact in a different way. Now we interact in a way that's like in demand, in real time for the most part. And, someday you're going to look back on this world at this time, and you're going to miss this. You're going to be, especially if you're younger, if you're like 20 years old right now, or 30 years old maybe, but in your teens or whatever, you're going to look back on this time like, remember we all jumped on Discord and we would share things and watch stuff. But it's going to seem so analog to you, because in the future it's going to be just you tap in and you go into your world. Like, you're going to be like, instead of going over your friend's house right now, right? You might decide, okay, I'm not going over my friend's house. Instead, we're all going to meet up on Discord later and play some game or watch videos or whatever, right? Back in the day, we would have all gone over to someone's house and watched the show at somebody's house. Now, you hop on a Discord call and watch it on video, and you guys might even record the session or something and laugh about it later or upload it somewhere. Or everybody's kind of interacting in that way. But what's probably going to happen in the future is that you're going to come home and you're going to throw your VR glasses on or whatever it is that you do, and you're just going to tap into your world, and you're going to be like in your place. So like you're going to have like a virtual world that's cool, right? You're going to have like a home base where like you can do shit in the virtual world. You can play pool, you can play games, and it feels like you're really doing it even though you're not. And your buddies can just come hang out, and you can be like, yo, let's go bowling or whatever. And you're going to be able to just VR bowl with your friends, or you're going to be able to build stuff in real time with your friends, or you're going to be able to play like Roblox, Minecraft, whatever the fuck with your friends, like in real time in a VR, like, hey, let's go, whatever. So now you're not like with your controller looking at the screen. You're not in the Discord anymore. You're just in this world, this environment, and you're thinking shit and you're saying shit, and there's no typing. You could type, but there's just all this in real time shit that's going on. And maybe you guys want to work on a song virtually, and you're doing that. Maybe you want to just go shopping and look at shit to buy and talk about it. Maybe you want to go to the doctor's visit, right? The doctor's body scan or whatever the fuck. You can go to the doctor's on there. There's just going to be so much shit. It's crazy. And let's not forget about like the world of creative in the future, right? You're going to be able to just create whatever you want. You're going to be like, dude, you know what I always wanted to do? Like, let's talk about like Star Trek. I know that a lot of you don't like Star Trek or don't watch it or whatever, but like I'm a big Star Trek fan. There was Star Trek series in the 70s. There was the main Star Trek shows that I grew up with in the 90s and the 80s. And then there's the new Star Trek now, and it feels like there's just oversaturation of Star Trek. And what is Star Trek? Well, you're going to be able to make your own Star Trek because you're going to like purchase the rights to Star Trek to make creatively Star Trek. So you're going to be, there'll be these online areas where you can share movies and videos and music videos and music and whatever. And I mean, you can already do that right now, but this will be in a more, elusive environment where it's like immersive is the word I'm looking for. And so like, you're going to be able to make a movie. You're going to be able to just make a movie. You're going to be able to go into the VR, into like a thing. You're going to be able to dial in some prompts and be like, I'm making a new Star Trek series. I need the Star Trek franchise starter pack, right? And you're going to have to pay like $500, right? You're going to pay $500, and then Paramount or whoever owns Star Trek is going to give you all the licensing required so that you can use all this Star Trek cool shit, and you can do whatever you want. Now, and if you resell something or you go to sell it, like they get 90% or 80% of the video and of the movie or whatever it is, and you just get like 5%, 10% or something like that. And you can spend hours like you're playing Halo, like when when you can make the Halo maps and stuff. You're going to be making Star Trek, and you're going to be like, all right, there's 8 characters. Here they are. There's also going to be some background characters throughout the ship, and in this scene on the bridge, this is what happens, and you write the scene, and then AI formulates it all. And then you can literally pick up the captain and be like, the captain's going to walk from the chair to the front console, and he's going to tell the guy to fire torpedoes at the ship. And you're gonna set the voices, you're gonna create the voices, you're gonna create the tone of the characters, and then now you have this open world of play. And you're going to be like, okay, boom, execute the scene. And then you get the scene. You go cut, print, boom. You move that. You move this. And you're your own director. You're your own creative. You're your own producer. In some cases, you can put yourself in the movie or in the show. You're a star in the show. And you go, hey, man, I just made this new Star Trek series. I've made 3 episodes so far. I'm the first officer. And, we actually, in this episode, like, we bring back the Enterprise D or whatever, and it's this crazy thing, and they get in a fight on this planet, and this is the episode. Check out my episode. Let me know what you think. And you just send it to somebody, and people can just do that. Or you're like, oh, I want to be in Call of, I want to make a new Call of Duty map, or and you're just going to be doing all this crazy shit. And the companies are probably going to lease you, the ability to do it. Like, it's not like the companies are going to be more interested in selling you their their franchise. What's the word? Like their property, or whatever. Rather than you are interested in like, them making the next movie. They're going to let people do it. And there'll just be this massive creative commons, I think, that will take place with creativity. But it's like creativity devoid of creative, if that makes any sense. Like, you're no longer standing with a bunch of different people shooting a movie. It's like you're making it on your own with a headset on. It's just crazy. I mean, you can sort of do those little things with AI right now, but what you're going to be able to do is going to be, it's going to be crazy. But will it, now I don't think that I don't think necessarily the movies will stop being made, though. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that they'll stop being completely made, but I think that there'll definitely be like, a situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, there'll be like a lot of focus on like, the fact that you can be a creator, because you can almost do that with everything anyway right now. And you are doing that now. But just this virtual reality and AI shit that's going to take place, dude, it's going to be crazy. And it's going to be, I don't know, man. It will be a lot of fun for a lot of people, but it might also, like hinder a lot of shit too. Kind of make a lot of things weird. But anyway, Logan Paul, I don't know how, legit it is. Logan Paul fires back at the WWE Superstars. Logan Paul, I wanted to be the biggest entertainer in the world. Saturday night is another opportunity to prove that I am. It's my understanding that some of my peers are not happy that I get these shots so quickly in my career. Let me break it down for you. It's simple. In your simple brains, you think I'm here because I go viral. You see the numbers and you think that's why I'm here. No. The reason I'm here is that I'm given the opportunities so early in my career is because I'm fantastic, because I'm getting those impressions for a decade now. And with those impressions comes an audience, a fan base, eyeballs, and that's why I'm here. So he is here for that. So I don't know why he said he wasn't. They care what I do, whether they're on my team, they want me to win. Whether they're waiting for me to fail, it doesn't matter. They're watching, and that's currency. Attention and so many questions. I don't know, this is cut off. And so my question would be for the people who have a problem with my position, who's watching you? I guess so. And I know that this is a play, and he's getting to play into the character. But listen, Logan, I don't know if this is like legitimate backstage crap or if he's just like, hey, let me talk some shit. Like, let me say some things. You know what I mean? I'm not sure which of those things it is, but I do know that, he's obviously diving into that stuff. And, I don't blame him. New subscriber. You fucking mark. Flick Shots subscribe. What's up, Flicky? Why don't you flick this, brother? How's everybody doing? It's Thursday afternoon. Flick, thanks for subbing to the channel, man. What's going on?
You donated $50.
Shit.
I'm gonna take my dick out because you donated $50. You donated $50, motherfucker, boy. I'm a rich motherfucker.
You need a mod in chat, brother. Hit me up.
Oh, all right, Spectral. You're not a mod? I thought you were one. Well, Spectral, just say something in the chat and then I can mod you. God damn, man. Spectral Citizen dropping a 50 spot. Holy smokes. That was a minute ago? Wow. Spectral Citizen dropping a hard one. Holy crap, Spectral. Oh, there you are. There you go. God damn. Yeah, where are all the mods, right? Whatever happened to all my mods? All the people. Spectral Citizen with a $50 big one to keep this rolling. Hell yeah. Thank you, Spectral. That's crazy. That's huge. Spectral Citizen. Yeah, a lot of the mods are missing, you know. I don't know what Ghost does anymore. He, like, comes in here and says, like, hey, and then he just, like, leaves. And then D. Welsh kind of does that, too. It's almost like they made a deal or something. Like, hey, you know what? Let's just go in there and say something and then run away. Like, it's like a weird thing. So, yeah, there's not a lot of mods anymore. Nightbot's here. It's the middle of the day. Life with AI is great, says Mike. Okay. I mean, I like AI a little bit, but I like it a lot, but I also see it kind of damaging stuff. So I can see it. But the shift that we're on right now is crazy, you know? It's crazy. I imagine Jake Paul will join WWE at some point too. Yeah, I'm surprised he already hasn't. I'm surprised we haven't gotten that yet. I would like to think that, I mean, maybe they're going to have, maybe the brothers are going to have I would think they would tag up. But we'll see. Will they tag together? And that seems like an obvious thing that they should probably do. But we'll see. So yeah, Logan Paul's comments, whatever. I call it a nothing burger for me, to be honest. You know. So yeah. Keith Lee gives an update on a potential in-ring return. Keith Lee, who, after telling Vince McMahon he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, basically. He aged about 900 years, if you remember. But let's see. Keith, talk about one of the biggest downfalls ever. I mean, I don't know if part of it is the health stuff or if it's just all whatever, but you have my appreciation. I am quite well. Only time will tell when or where, but I am confident that time will come. Have patience, my friend. Lead with love. I hope Keith Lee is okay and doing well. I hope I will see him back in the ring. So I don't know exactly what's going on with Keith Lee. He's back, he's gone. I mean, you get worried about this stuff because, you know what I mean? Like after what happened with Bray Wyatt with his heart. I mean, dude, I just watched a video where a guy had a heart attack at 37. And now listen, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy person and go all conspiracy or whatever, but I watched this guy's video. He had a heart attack at 37, a massive heart attack. And he luckily got to the hospital in time. But there's so many people having heart attacks in their 30s. I know that I got to be careful, man. I've been eating like shit. But like this guy was like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, you know, I don't really I walk every day or so a little bit. And maybe it's my food that I've been eating, you know. And I was like, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you're not a big fatso, all these other things. And he said all these things that he doesn't do and he should be healthy. But the one thing he didn't mention was how many times did he get vaxxed. So I went back in his history and saw these tweets that he made, like, oh, vaxxed again, got my 5th vax. So the guy got 5 vaccinations, 37 years old. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that's the reason he had a heart attack, but when you're like, I don't smoke ever, I never drank, and I don't drink, and I don't eat that bad, and he looks like okay. I mean, he's obviously a sedentary, like, person, but I'm like, bro, did you ever think, like, what's the reason? Like, that could be the reason? Like, 5 shots? And I don't know. But it could be. And so, like, you know, with Bray Wyatt having his heart issue, I mean, Triple H with his, other people with theirs, the weird thing that happened to Luke Harper, like this super rare lung degradation, whatever that lung thing that happened to Luke Harper, Brody Lee. I mean, these are all weird ass things. And now Keith Lee, we know that COVID almost killed Keith Lee. And he battled through something, and there's medical stuff going on with him that we don't really know fully. I mean, with all of these close calls with all these other people, it almost just feels like it's not going to work. You know what I mean? So I would, you know, obviously be really cautious if I'm Keith Lee. I'm like, So I don't think it's a creative thing. It sounds like it's a health thing. I didn't realize that. I thought the health stuff was over again and that Keith Lee was back or was coming back, and he had already been back. So I thought, he was good. But it sounds to me like this is the third, fourth, or fifth time, that he basically I don't know. Just seems like, what the hell? Man, there are some thirst traps on Facebook Reels. My God, bro. What am I looking at? What kind of thirst traps are these? Holy shit. I was just scrolling trying to look for wrestling news, and then this chick popped up. It's like, what is going on here? I'm just trying to look for some shit, and this chick shows up. Like, what? Dude, I want her to break my face. Like, what is this? What is this? Why am I getting these? And it's because I click on them. Because I can't believe that they're in my feed. What the hell? How do I get Leah in this? What the hell? Anyway. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, so Keith Lee probably, I don't know, man. October 24th, it was reported that Keith Lee was not medically cleared to return to the ring in competition due to an undisclosed medical issue despite the setback. The report confirmed that Lee remains under contract with the AEW. Keith Lee's run in AEW has had its share of highs and lows. Yeah, so Keith's still out. So he told that fan, like, listen, brother, the day will come or whatever. I don't think the day's going to come. I mean, we're talking about he went out with an undisclosed medical issue, which I believe is heart-related. And we don't know really, but I mean, based on what he said in the past, what Mia Yim said, and several other people have said in the past, I would assume this is still related to the heart. And that was October 2024. So, I mean, $8 months? Is that 8 months? Yeah, it's 8 months out. And that's after missing time multiple times before that for the same thing, I think. So we're 8 months. And now I'm betting that maybe it's studies. They're doing studies. They're doing tests. They're trying to figure things out for him. And, to go to these appointments and get tested and get baseline results and then like do stress testing and, hey, let's run on a treadmill for 30 minutes or run on a treadmill for 10 minutes, get off the treadmill, get tested, get blood work done, run on a treadmill for 30 minutes, get blood work done, pick up some weights, carry them over here, get all these cardiovascular tests done, get chest x-rays done, and then everything looks good, but wait, something happened to you the other day. What's going on? Let's check you again. Oh, I don't know. There's something wrong, but we don't know what it is. These setbacks, I don't know. That's just me guessing. King Hueco Mundo believes that COVID-19 got Brody Lee, Bray Wyatt, and almost killed Keith Lee 100%. I mean, it might be that. It might be that. I mean, they've never said that COVID necessarily took out, Brody, but it feels like it. It feels like that guy should not have died. And he got some crazy lung thing where the lungs all harden up and get weird and then died. That makes me think of like when people get, in some of the embalmings that they've done with the on the bodies afterwards, and they find all these hardened veins and weird stuff in people. And whether that's due to the jibby jab or whether that's due to just COVID itself, I mean, look at me. I got my gallbladder issues right after I got COVID. Remember that? I never had gallbladder issues. I never had other issues. All of a sudden, what was it, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks after COVID, I got COVID in July. And I got COVID really bad. Like, I was laying in bed for 4 days, like, in pain with my kidneys. And it was 2022, right? 2022 or 21, I don't remember. And it was like, but I was like, oh, yeah, I'd be, all right, I'm over it. It's all gone, whatever. And then the next month is when I started getting all the gallbladder issues. And I never had gallbladder issues. So it's almost like COVID would attack a certain organ in your body. And it was like, it's literally really feels like COVID, the inflammation from COVID or COVID itself attacks some part of your body, and you either lose something or you don't recover from it, or you get damaged by it for whatever reason. It just feels like that with a lot of people. Feels like, hey, you know, this guy might have had a minor heart problem, but now he's got a real bad heart problem and he's dead. Or it's just it's made it worse. Oh, this guy might have had something going on. This got worse. Oh, you have your lungs just harden up and you die. Like, what the fuck is that? Or whatever. It attacks your lungs. It attacks your heart. At some point, it does some damage somewhere. I happen to think that potentially it damaged my gallbladder now because, I mean, maybe not. It could have been coincidental. I was eating like shit. So it could have just been coincidence that it intensified it or it accelerated it, that sort of thing. And with that acceleration, some people who were on the edge of something who would have been okay for another 10, 20, years, they were just pushed right to it. Like, here you go. Like, you're going to get it right. You're going to get it instantly now. And it definitely it definitely kind of feels that way. Because I feel, I've definitely felt weird, but then again, I was turning 37, 38 myself, so maybe, I was looking at my blood pressure the other day. Like, I was sitting down, I sat down calmly, and I took my blood pressure. But I'd only been sitting for about 4 minutes, 5 minutes, but I took it anyway. And, it was like 136 over 94, which is kind of high, right? That's high. I think that's like hypertension 1. So I was like, okay. That's not good. But after about 10 minutes, I took it again, and then it was like 124 over 90. And I was like, okay, that's better. But my blood pressure seems to be a little bit high myself. So, like, even right now, I've got to, I want to get that down to, I'd like to get my blood pressure down to, 118, 120 over, 80 or something like that. So I'm going to have to work on that. Do some push-ups every day, a couple of times a day, 3 times a day, take breaks to do 5, 10 push-ups. And then, drink more water and shit like that. But, I don't know. That's the same with Bray Wyatt when he caught COVID. Yeah, what did he get? The heart thing or? Yeah, people, dude, we were eating like crazy people. Dude, I remember when COVID first started. I mean, when it was in China only. When it was in China first and nobody really believed this was really going to happen here. And I was already like, this is going to fucking happen here. This is going to happen all over the world. Holy shit, we're all going to get sick. But it was scarier then because people were like all dying like crazy in China. And it was just starting to come out. It was like October, September, something like that. September, October, November, whatever. And it probably had already been in America at this point, but we didn't realize it. But I remember when it was like probably late January, February, we started to finally order out more and I started going out less because I was like, I'm not going to go out. This is fucking crazy. Something's going on. And obviously I ordered like a mask or whatever, like a real gas mask or whatever. And I was ovening my food because we didn't know how it was spread yet, right? We didn't know how the virus, what it really was yet at all, right? Nobody knew yet. So like you didn't know where it came from. So I would order Papagenos a lot of times. We would order Papagenos and, keep the food in the fridge or whatever. And we would put it in the oven. I would put it in the oven to cook it all again for like 5 minutes to make sure that we cooked off any kind of like whatever could be on the food or whatever. It's so crazy to think about that. Like that's a crazy thing to do. But that's the least crazy of what people did. Like, because we didn't know yet how it was transmitted fully and like we weren't really sure yet. So it was kind of understandable. But like at some point people would go on to be like put in bubbles. They would put children in like bubbles and little tents in school. I mean, there was just crazy shit that people would do and that we would do. And so like that cooking the food extra or being a little paranoid about that was on a much lower level. Do you guys remember the jokes? We were making jokes like it was like January, February, March, probably like March or something. And people were like saying, everybody was like, somebody please check on Howie Mandel. Like Howie Mandel is probably losing his mind. He's probably like, having a fucking heart attack somewhere. But yeah, I remember laughing about Howie Mandel. And just being like, yeah, that poor guy that guy's having a heart attack. Man, these things are crazy. I can't get over them. I gotta like screenshot these. Facebook knows exactly what I want to look at. It's like, you want to look at these hoes? I'm blown away. Facebook knows. Probably does this like with women too. Like it knows what kind of women you want, or guys like you want to look at or whatever. And it's like, here's your guys. My Facebook is like, here's the women you want to look at. I bet you're lonely. These chicks all have tattoos. That's interesting. Like they've all got tattoos. I like this girl's rose, like on her top shoulder. I really like that rose she has. Like that rose right there. That's pretty cool. My wife has a bat. I like that rose, though. That's pretty good. And this girl got a tattoo on her, like, thigh. She got some athletic thighs, bro. I like bitch face, too. Like, yeah, fuck you. That's like if Left Eye was like an athlete. I mean, she was pretty in shape too. But yeah, the algorithms are so strange. Tony McMahon, Khan, Mr. Freeze, the Snowman, his life is in danger at a wrestling show. Annette, what? That's true. Once I reached 40 a couple years ago, I realized I couldn't just eat crazy anymore. Yeah, exactly. It's like you kind of like you don't even think about being 40. Like that's the biggest thing. Like if anybody's 20 or 30, what happens is you you start at 38, or maybe like 37, 38, you start thinking like, holy shit, I'm actually getting older. Like, what's going on? I'm gonna be 40. Holy shit. And then at some point you start thinking like, okay, wait a minute. Like, what is my body? What's my health like? I'm still eating like I'm in college. You know, you're still eating like shit. And so, you know what I always remember is being a kid watching those TV shows where like the dad is like, you know, eating a pizza and the daughter or the mother or somebody like that is like, Dad, you know, you can't eat that or whatever. And, you know, you think about that guy being like 50 or 80 or 70 or something like that, but it's like, no, that's now your age. You're now 36, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 45, whatever. You are that guy now. And what happens is you have a massive health issue, right? And that's what leads to that. So whether that's between the age of like 36 and 40, 48, somewhere in that time, you have a massive health issue, and so your family are scared for you. So they're like, Dad, what do you put down the fucking pizza? Or put down the bullshit that you're eating or whatever. Because they're afraid that you're going to die. Because you had some near-death thing that happened. Or the doctors are worried or something like that. So like what I started, I know that I'm very late to wanting to care about that. Like, I should have cared about this back at like 33 probably, but I mean, what are you going to do? Not do it because you think it's too late? Of course it's not too late. So, yeah, so I'm trying to avoid that. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to avoid that, and I keep fucking up, but I'm still trying, knowing like, okay, you know, what'd be really cool is if I avoided that scare. You know, or getting to 46 and then having a problem, or getting to 48 and having a problem. I'd rather start trying to turn back that dial now so that I'm like 50 and nothing's happened yet. And then hopefully nothing really happens until I'm like 70 or 60 or 80 or whatever the fuck. But I mean, that's probably unlikely, less likely, but you know, might as well try it. I mean, I've tried a couple of times over the years, but you get depressed, you get hungry, you start stuffing donuts and stuff like that, and you can't help it. So, I don't know. But I'm going to look at my numbers and see what's up. But I do know that, taking my resting blood pressure, I know that my blood pressure is higher than it ever has been. I know that. So I know that, okay, we should probably do something. Because I used to take my blood pressure or get my blood pressure done, and they'd be like, okay, good, you're good. Good blood pressure. You're good to go. And I always had good blood pressure. But, like, not now. Now it's like, oh, God. Like, it's not horrific. It's just, like, slightly above, like, you know, it's not where, you know, you exactly want to be. But, yeah, it's hard. It's hard eating healthy when it's expensive, but it's also hard because you crave things. But, you know, I just got to stick to the shit, you know, stick to salads. Stick to tuna, stick to salmon, maybe some chicken, plain chicken is okay. You know, fruits and vegetables, beets are huge, right? You know, that's all. And then you can have a couple of times a week where you eat shit. It's okay. Yeah, walk around. You got to walk around for sure. Do some push-ups, do some jumping jacks, like 3 times a day. I used to take breaks like 3 times a day where it's like, okay, 10 push-ups, get up, 50 jumping jacks, and then that's it. I would just go back to shit and then do that again at some point. You know, that shit will help. It's got to help, you know? I drink a lot of coffee, so that's probably upping the shit. But yeah. Keith Lee probably not coming back anytime soon, it seems like. Shit's going wrong with him, and it remains wrong, and that's, you know, that's a bit scary for Keith Lee. Eddie Kingston claimed he knows who leaked AEW info, but now he's not saying and he doesn't know, and that's weird. What happened to Eddie Kingston? What the hell ever happened to Eddie Kingston? Not that he was the most fantastic athlete when he was there, but I think a lot of people can agree that they overall pretty much liked Eddie Kingston, but I think he lost a lot of everything. He's just sort of, he's a face of AEW. And I don't know if he's part of like a backstage thing or what he's doing over there right now, but I don't know. Collisions in El Paso, Texas this weekend. If you're going to watch that, there's already spoilers for it. So, I mean, if you want to check that out, go ahead. But there's really not a lot, I don't think, to check out from that. Harley Cameron got her, I think, her nose broken, right? Didn't she get her nose broken the other night? Which is like a lot of the women, a lot of the pretty women were getting beat up the other night. And what's up with that? No more Egg McMuffins, yeah. I don't have a lot of them. I don't really have a lot because I have to eat shit. My problem is because, saving money, I have a lot of ramen like that I'm eating. And that shit's full of sodium, right? So that's probably killing me. That's the problem. I'm sure the McMuffin once in a while or the McGriddle once in a while, that probably wouldn't be a problem. Oh, a little bit it is, but what's really the problem is the fact that you're like, oh, I have no money, but I'm hungry. Oh, ramen. Oh, let's not order anything. Let's eat ramen. You know what I mean? Or there's only so much food you can get before it goes bad, and how much does the food cost? And well, here's a box of 30 ramens for like, $7. Well, so that I know now that, dude, if I eat a cup of ramen soup, I feel like collapsing afterwards. Like, I don't even want to eat it. Like, I eat it sometimes, like, just to get, sometimes I make it and I take 3 big bites of it and then I throw it out and that's it. Because I was just like craving food and something. So I'll be like, and then I'll just dump the rest of it out. It's crazy. But I mean, it's only 40 cents for that soup. So I'm like, okay, well, I didn't eat the whole thing, because if I did, I would feel awful. Because I do. If I eat the whole thing of ramen, I know I'm going to pass out right when I'm done, because the sodium's nuts. And unless you've loaded your body with water and potassium ahead of time, your body's like, fuck. It's just done. Top donation from Spectral Citizen, $50. If you guys want to donate, the donation link is pinned to the top of the chat. Say whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Whatever. It's all on the table if you want. You got a couple seconds left to do it. We talked about the Logan Paul thing already. Talked about these hotties that I keep getting recommended. They used to be 23 cents per pack. Well, they're actually more than that now, too. I think I said 40 cents. They're like 60 cents now, I think. But yeah, they used to be like, it was crazy, like 20 cents. I think they're 45 cents times 24. Yeah, because they're like, it's like $12 for a 24 pack on Amazon now, but you can get them in the store for $8. So, but yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of ramen for a lot of reasons. Good old Gabby Lopez. New subscriber.
You fighting Mark!
Falk, what's up? Thanks for subbing. What's going on? I hope you guys saw my other videos. I know that there's like quite a big, I don't know, you call it suppression or whatever. It's difficulty seeing the videos. So I appreciate you seeking me out and finding the videos either way, and then subbing to the channel as well. A lot of the Vince McMahon news the other day was, I mean, that's how bad things are. When the Vince McMahon news is taking over, I mean, including news of like, John Laurinaitis is going to testify against him, basically. And then the news that Vince wants to buy back WWE, according to, Jonathan Coachman, who I don't know how close those guys are, but, he says that. But we'll see. Yeah, and I don't think Vince is coming back. I know that he holds shares. We talked about the shares he holds the other day. You know, somebody was yelling at me and emailing me like, Joe, he holds shares. I'm like, dude, I said that in the video. You didn't watch the video. Like, I can't tell you how many people emailed me or texted me. They're like, he holds shares, Joe. I'm like, oh my God, watch the video. It's in my video. Like, I said all of it in the video. Like I said, I don't think he's really going to buy back the company. I think this is what's going on. Jonathan Coachman said this, not me. Like, I don't think people watch videos anymore. Like, it's weird. I think people just comment things and they don't even watch the videos. I'm like, what are you doing? Watch the videos. Watch my video. It's fucking 8 minutes. I said that all in my video. But you took the time to write me an email and then didn't watch the video, though? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's crazy. I got multiple messages. I'm like, dude, watch the video. But, yeah, I thought that was funny. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Oh my God! Somebody posted a couch that would be perfect to replace the couch that we have. But it's oh my God! They posted it for $300. Holy shit! A lot of times people put them up for like, like free or like $50. My couch upstairs looks like trash. It has been beaten to death. But obviously, we're not going to, I can't get couches, can't do anything right now. But like that's the wrong, it's not the best color, but I think it would work out. But good Lord. Yeah, $400 though. Oof. Time to start wearing your masks again. There's a breaking news warning over a dangerous new COVID strain, guys. So they're going to kill us one way or the other, apparently. And it's probably because Trump's president, right? Because Trump's president, so here comes the next COVID strain, everybody. Because they only release these COVID things and stuff when Trump's president. Variant NB181 behind resurgence of the virus in Asia has hit Australia. A new strain of COVID virus that caused a sharp surge in cases in China. Recent testing at Perth. Blah, 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 blah. So basically, it's just that it's not that it's a dangerous case, I don't think. Symptoms include cough, sore throat, nausea, dizziness, loss of appetite, blurred vision, inability to concentrate, and hypothermia. Hong Kong officials said it had caused a significant increase in cases with the highest levels seen in more than a year, with 81 severe cases in the last month. Hypothermia. The U.S. announced it will no longer recommend COVID-19 vaccines for children and pregnant women. Well, it looks like it's just another variant that they're scaring you with, but I mean, I don't know. Listen, Johnny Ace is I think everybody knows Johnny Ace is a scumbag, right? I mean, all kinds of wrestlers hate this guy. I know that kind of comes with the position that he's in, but I mean, all kinds of wrestlers talk about how he's a scumbag. So many people don't like him. Look at what he did to the Bella Twins' mother, like what his wife, cheating on her, I think, right? So closely with Vince McMahon and all this stuff. I mean, are we really shocked that the guy would rat out Vince McMahon and roll on Vince? Like, the guy is a snake. The guy is a snake. God, Dreamer's Lane, if the new COVID variant attacks kidneys, then what the fuck did the last one do? Because when I had COVID in 2021, 2022, whatever it was, my kidneys felt like they were being squeezed to death. Like it was crazy. So if this thing were to attack the kidneys more, like, oh my God, what the hell would happen to my kidneys? I caught COVID that I know of once, and that was enough for me. Raven hated Johnny Ace before. Well, what didn't Raven hate, though, to be honest? You know? Raven kind of hated a lot of things, right? How's everybody's hot on in the chat? Sounds scary, yeah. It's probably just there to scare you. It's probably going to be okay. How many other times have we heard there's a new variant? Oh. You know? But I get scared because I know Trump's president, and I know that, you know, they probably want to stop him from doing things again. So, you know, another virus or panic would be perfect. So I get a little worried about that, but sounds like things that happen from damaged kidneys from what you described. Oh, okay, yeah. Could be. You got COVID 22. It felt like a cold. Yeah, I definitely felt like a flu, but it felt like COVID felt like one of the worst flus I ever caught. I had a flu a little while ago. This past year I had a flu that was bad, and I kept testing for COVID, and it wasn't COVID. And I was sore all over, and my kidneys kind of hurt a little bit. But it was rough because it was like 2 weeks. It was like a cold that lasted 2 weeks, and everybody got it. Leah got it, my kids, and everybody. It lasted 2 weeks, and for me it was rough because it lasted so long. But it was like manageable, and it wasn't like COVID. COVID was one of the worst things I ever had. I think it might have been the worst thing. There was a flu I had a long time ago where I had a very high temperature, and that was pretty bad. But it went away within a day and a half. So I would say that's the worst flu I ever had because it went away after a day and a half, but it was pretty bad. But I think COVID is the worst thing that I ever had. I think COVID is the worst cold that I ever got because it was 4 days of massive pain. And I was taking 3 ibuprofen every 4 hours. And the minute it wore off, I couldn't sleep, and I was in pain. It was crazy. The aches were nuts. So I think that COVID was the worst thing I ever had. But it didn't even get to a level of oh, you're hospitalized or, those type of things. I've never been hospitalized for being sick in my life. So, it didn't get to those levels. But I mean, just as a cold, as a flu, it was the worst flu I ever had because it was COVID. And I would say the worst flu I ever had was probably 9 years ago when I caught that thing and I was in the living room and I couldn't get I was crawling to the bathroom. And then I would say that the flu that I had this past year was one of the worst ones just because it wouldn't go the fuck away. But yeah, COVID was the worst thing I ever had. For sure. And if you guys can, click that like button, baby. Because we only got 38 likes, and that's fucking retarded. Yeah, meningitis would be the worst. That's crazy. Meningitis is nuts. That's not that's definitely one of the more dangerous things you can have. So yeah, I can imagine meningitis would definitely be the worst. When my wife had MRSA, that was probably her worst thing. I mean, MRSA is some crazy shit to catch that. Woo! Let's go. John Laurinaitis has been dropped from Janelle Grant lawsuit after agreeing to provide evidence on the case. It's just crazy. It's like some people are like, oh, Vince got away, Vince is back. Vince got away, Vince is back. Save himself. He's got to save himself. Which many people can understand, I guess. But yeah, John Laryngitis turns on Vince. People are making fun of the Elder Scrolls women, and I feel like it's a mistake. I know that I know that it's fun to joke on, like, woke people and, stupid, crazy, like, whatever. But, like, I just happened to see the other day that they're making, and I don't even care about Elder Scrolls or any of that stuff anymore. I'm totally out on all the video games. They're woke, stupid piece of shit. But, so these are, like, the women, I guess, on the game. And people are, like, making fun of it, which at first I did too. I was like, what a bunch of, like, what is this? But when you find out, when you look into it, first of all, these are all women. Nobody's, like, a trans man or something. They're all actually, like, I believe, at birth women. And also, all these women, I believe, worked with Bethesda for, like, the past 20-something years. Like, you can go back and see them when they were younger working at Bethesda and, like, in fact, the girl on the bottom looks good. This photo of her is fucking terrible. I don't know why this is the photo that they chose. She's like, but like, but this lady, actually, I saw a picture of her from like 20 years ago and she looked pretty good. But apparently they've all worked there for 20 something years. So if that's true, like, if these women were all just started, like, 5 years ago, I'd be like, oh, that's why. Okay. Like, you could build that narrative. But, like, apparently these women have all worked for Bethesda for a long time. And so I think that, I think that a lot of this is, I guess, like, just like it could just be mean, This could just be people being mean, jumping to conclusions, because you want nerds working on video games, right? And I'm pretty sure, like, this is a photo of her working for Bethesda. This is like 20 years ago. She was at Bethesda. Here she is 20 years ago. And, this is her now at Bethesda. So obviously, like, these women have aged now. Like, they're like, I don't know, they're like in their 40s or their 50s, late 30s, 40s, and 50s. And people are, like, just roasting them online. And I have to say, is this the same girl with a Baja's shirt? I don't know if this is also Megan from, like, 2001, like 25 years ago. But if this is her, shout out to her for I think the Baja's shirt. That's sick. Is that really her? I don't know if that's her or not. Same name. I think that's her, though. And she's got a sick Baja shirt on. So anyway, my point is, like, I think this is a case of people overreacting to call out stuff. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe these women are all woke psychopaths. I don't know. But they've all been, apparently, with Bethesda for, like, 20 years. So I don't think this is one of those times to be like, oh, they're all a bunch of stupid people, woke women, men, whatever, and that's why this company, whatever. I mean, it could be that that still is the case, but I'm just saying there's a misrepresentation that these are just newly appointed, hired people, but they've actually been with the company for like a lot of years. So like, I just wanted to, throw that out there that, hey, maybe we should really look into actually who they are, because I don't know still. They could be nutcases. I don't know. They could be great people. They could be nutcases, great people, smart people. They could be somewhere in the middle. I have no idea. So I'm not going to tweet out that this is what's wrong with Bethesda. These cows are in charge. That's just mean. Why are people doing that? Like, I get it. Like, at first when you see it, you're like, oh, boy. But, like, if you think about it for a second, you're like, oh. Are we just being mean to women? Are we just being mean to these women and calling them, like, people are calling them, fat woke cows and shit? And it's like, they might not be these. Why do you think? Well, they have, you don't know yet. Yeah, Bethesda's not doing great. And probably, maybe they are. Or maybe one of them is. Maybe one of them isn't. You don't know what they are. I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know. Did you see that shark in the pond in Boston? Yeah, I did. I saw that. That's crazy. I thought it was like AI or something, but I guess it's real. I thought it was AI. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we got it covered. Todd Chrisley's out of jail. I can't believe they were going to be in jail for life for the tax fraud or whatever. That is kind of crazy. I thought they were going to go to jail for a couple of years. I didn't know they were going to go to jail for like 20 years. That's pretty crazy. If you don't file your taxes for like 5 years, you can go to jail technically, but they hardly put you in jail for it, but you could go to jail 5 years. That is so crazy, man. I mean, the crime is crazy too. I mean, what they did is fucking crazy. Like, they did some skeevy shit, but you would think you would make them pay it back, like, in some other way or somehow, or maybe there could even be laws where it's like, okay, well, you have to figure out how to pay this back, whatever. But like, to just be like, well, we're going to lock you up for 30 years. Like, wow, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, will they come back to TV? Well, that's the thing, is they should come back to TV, because then the government can get that money back, right? Like, if they come back to TV and the government's like, yeah, but I don't think they have to do anything. I think they got away with it now. I mean, they didn't get away with it. They spent 4 years in jail. But I mean, I think that I don't know if they're in trouble still for all that. But if they do go back to TV, yeah, you would think, well, there you go. You owe the government $30 million. Well, your TV contract is for, $30 million, or whatever. So you got to be a reality star for 3 years and all the money goes to the government. Almost all of it, right? You get to keep some. You get to have like a living wage. Like they let you keep like $150,000, but you give the rest to the government to pay off the situation. I mean, what's wrong? I don't see the problem with that. What's wrong with that? It's like me. I owe the IRS, I don't know, $60-something thousand still. I pay them, over $1,000 a month. It's not fun. It's not good. I don't really have it. I'm suffering because of it. But, like, I owe the money. I owe them the money. It's the interest, though, that kills me. Like, it's not fair. The interest part, I feel like, is not fair. Like, I owe you this money, but every year I'm basically penalized $12,000 because I owe that money. But I'm paying every month. And it's like, if you could just stop the $12,000 penalty every year, I would catch up and it could go away. But you're essentially owning me forever with that penalty because I'm only able to pay in about $15,000 a year. I'm paying $30,000 in, but you're taking back $15,000 every year again. So it's like, I mean, I guess I'll get it down eventually, but I don't remember what it is. I think it's like $5,000 or $6,000 a year is coming off technically. So then at the end of the year, if I look at it, it's like, oh, I only owe $58,000. But then at the end of the year, they calculate the interest, and then it goes back to $66,000, $67,000, and it's like, oh. Then the next year, I get it down to $50,000. Then at the end of the year, they charge me for the interest, and it goes to $63,000, and it's like, I don't know. Joe joined the IRS. Oh, I'll be dead. Join the IRS. I'll just join him. I'll cut myself a deal. Well, anyway, probably going to join Robin Williams and Chris Benoit. But anyway, guys, love you all. Thanks for being here, hanging out for a little bit. Spectral Citizen, thank you for dropping the $50 big one. We rambled on about some wrestling news and random other shit in this hour. And, it is what it is. Oh, just for fun. I've already showed my taxes on the air, bro. I already showed them on the air, dude. You got to come up with something better than that. Can you imagine if the gimmick was to come on and pretend you owe the IRS so you can get donations? Who the fuck is going to donate to someone who owes that much IRS? I mean, like electric bill, computer, I think a lot of people do that. They go, oh, my computer, my electric bill, I've seen that, I really do have those problems, but I'm not really mentioning it. But yeah, IRS, nobody would do that. Nobody would be like, let me say, hey guys, I owe the IRS. Hopefully I'll get donations now. It doesn't make any sense because you're not going to get a donation that's going to pay that off. So that's all it does is say, look guys, I'm an idiot with money. Like, hey, I'm a dummy with money, people. Nah, bro, it'd be the dumbest thing. If you're gonna try to get sympathy for donations, you would fake an injury or like fake that your family's sick or something, or you would just be like, oh, my bills are coming up. You would just something like that. I don't know, but you wouldn't say you owe the IRS $60,000, which, by the way, I owe the IRS that money because of the donations. Right? That makes sense, right? Like, come on. When you make a lot of money in a YouTube channel, you owe IRS when you don't calculate the taxes because it's a 1099 or whatever. It's so I don't know. You got to get better. You got to get better trolls. Like those trolls you got to get better. They're not good. Well, yeah. If you had a GoFundMe to pay off all the debt, yeah, that would be like a thing. Like that could be. Then I could see it. Like if you had a GoFundMe set up, that would be kind of like weird. Like, hey, GoFundMe, help me, the IRS. That would be. Then I could see someone being like, oh, that's weird. I wouldn't do that. I would never do that. I'm paying stuff. We got to make money. We got to make donations, no doubt about it. But like I said, I've shown my bills on the air because I don't care. It was like a troll calling it out one time. So he showed everything on the air, like in real time, like pretty quickly. And that guy shut the fuck up pretty quick. Imagine lying, saying like, "Hey, I'm a fucking loser." Like, I'm gonna lie about that. That'd be crazy. I just can't help but talk about my life. I love talking about my real life. I don't care if I look bad or whatever. It doesn't bother me. Write your senators. Some can help. My state senator is going to help my federal income tax, you think? I don't know. Maybe if I like cut a deal with him, like, hey, I'll promote you every... I probably bashed him. Probably bashed my state senator. Garguts, are you in the hospital, bro? Are you okay? Are you in the hospital? What the fuck's going on? Just finished my last day at work trying to find another job. Yeah. Definitely get that for sure. Yeah. Work's crazy right now out there. It's a real problem. I might be live tonight. I'll see you guys if I'm live tonight. Look forward to hanging out tonight for a little bit. Same type of deal. I'll catch you guys then. Thanks for being here. You get surgery tomorrow? Oh, shit. I'll have to talk to you about that. Don't die. I'll talk to you on Facebook, brother. I've been so busy, I haven't even seen anybody. I've been so busy, like I don't even know what's going on. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on, and I'm not even seeing it. All right. Well, I'll catch you guys potentially later tonight. See you then.
So you can bring in whoever you want.
Watch this.
The truth will, the proof will be in the pudding. We can stand and say this is terrible, but so we're gonna wait and see what happens. And the minute it turns out to be state-run television, or state-run information, or state-run news, because I disagree that people got stuff wrong. I don't know what people were looking for, because the people I talked to were not looking for the things that these folks were looking for. And
oh my God.
Are they getting what they want? So that's just my opinion.
But even on the media front, we haven't gotten to this real quickly this week. The CIA came out and said that COVID very likely came from a lab leak. And the New York Times shut down coverage of that. They wouldn't publish an op-ed by a senator from Arkansas, Tom Cotton, saying that this was a credential theory. At the time I was at DOD and that was openly discussed, is a very real possibility.
There is
a fact that the media at times has gotten things wrong.
Listen, it isn't about whether they get it wrong or right. It's what they do to correct it. That's the problem.
Does matter. Yeah.
Well, that's what.
Oh my God. I grew up watching Star Trek: The Next Generation. I loved Whoopi Goldberg as Guinan. I loved Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act and a couple other movies she was in that were big, that I watched. I loved Whoopi Goldberg. I thought she was great. She seemed like a calm, rational, just a sweet person, and it's crazy that she's the same person. Like over the last 5 years or whatever of seeing her clips from The View, it's like she's out of her fucking mind. Like, and it's sick, and it's sad to see like that. It's like, what the fuck happened to you? And she's just, it's crazy. You like to believe that some of these people are a little bit like their characters, and it's just couldn't be more opposite. And you think, well, because they like their character and understand those characters, and they understand Star Trek and things like that, that they must be a very like open mind, calm, clear-headed person. And it turns out they're just some of the most insane maniacs there are. Like, it's very strange. But all right, I'm out. See you guys tonight.